What do we use this for again?
Like a flaking, what are they doing?
Cholangiocarcinoma,
So,
some sort of tumor.
So-
Is this before or
CBD.
after your spyglass, or with your spyglass?
so this cannot go through spyglass.
Okay.
Most people will use spyglass to look to find the
First.
margins of the tumor, and then they'll ablate within those margins. So, the high level is, this is a bipolar probe that will go over an 035 guide wire, or over an 018, 025 guide wire, whatever you guys are using. This probe will follow that wire up into the bile duct, and then you will deliver ablation energy basically for tumor debulking. So there's two things that it does. And the first one is you can use it before you place a metal stent in a patient. You can kill all the cancer cells that are in there, put in the metal stent, and it's showing that those metal stents will stay open for significantly longer than they would have if you hadn't used RFA. The second one is, I think you guys probably have a significant number of patients that come back in that have a metal stent that is occluded. So it's full, you're having to go back in. I've heard that people will like use graspers, they'll tear out tissue in the middle of it, they'll do balloon sweeps. They're doing anything that they can to reopen a stent that's had either tumor ingrowth or tumor overgrowth. So this probe you can take into that fully occluded tumor-filled stent that the patient already has, and you can burn your way up through the stent to totally open up the stent and get them to start draining again. So those are really the two ways that you'll use it, is either before placement of a metal stent or to clean out an existing metal stent. This cord has labeled keep, do not throw away.
So put about 5 more of those labels on there.
Yeah. So both ends are labeled. So this, thank you. So this cord is yours. We haven't picked a place.
Me too.
Do we have a backup cord just in case?
So I'm going to talk to Danielle about that. This is what the box looks like. I have labeled these in large letters, Habib. I don't know where these are going to live yet. We haven't picked a place for them to live. I would assume they're going to be somewhere on that back wall.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure they'll find a
Like
spot.
all the abundance of space.
I would like them to be on the shelf like this. Like this is how I would like them to be there, is literally
It's not a
wrapped
bad idea.
in the cord. There is nothing else that this probe can plug into in your lab. So if you go back, everybody knows this screen where you select your program. You're going to go all the way to the bottom, and you'll see Habib, CBD, and Habib Hepatic. So you're going to select one of those options. If they ask, which they shouldn't because I've explained to both of them, but if they ask, Habib CBD has higher watts because it's a larger lumen. Habib Hepatic is a little lower watts because it's a smaller lumen. This is going to plug right into your bipolar slot because it's a bipolar probe, which means that the patient does not need to be grounded. When you pull the probe out of the package, you're going to see this in a hula hoop, and then you're going to see the back end, the excess cord. You can just plug this cord into that one, and it's active. This probe, you guys have seen bipolar, you know you have two tips, and the electricity transfers between the two tips. Same thing here, there's two metal pieces. You can see both of these on fluoro. The energy transfers between those. And I'm going to pass this around. This kind of shows you what it looks like over time as you continue to burn. So this is the part that's going to be uncomfortable for you guys the first time you do it. So everybody listen up. This pedal, only blue. That's the only one that's active. It's only coag. The cut is not available. This probe goes 10 watts, effect 8 for 90 seconds. I'm going to show you how long 90 seconds is.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So they just stand on
They
it for 90
stand
seconds?
on it. This has an automatic shut off at 90 seconds. But this is going to feel like, I promise you, it is going to feel like
10
this is
minutes,
broken.
yeah.
We've been doing it for 15 minutes. We're going to burn through it.
so long.
Yeah, it's a crazy long amount of time. But think about this. You're normally at watts of 100, 120, and your effect is lower. So, although it sounds like forever, legit, you will end up with a 25 millimeter in length and only 3 millimeter in depth area of ablation. And as tissue becomes dead and necrotic, RFA energy is less effective to transfer through it. So it's almost like creating an eggshell. Like you create this eggshell and all of a sudden you can't kill anything that's beyond the eggshell. That dead tissue, RFA will no longer go through that anymore. So people are using this for ampullary cancer, cancer of the bile duct, cancer in the hepatic ducts, cholangiocarcinoma, and then cleaning out metal stents, or doing this prophylactically before placing a metal stent. Does anybody have any questions?
It hasn't been 90 seconds.
That's still going. That's gonna give me
Feels-
anxiety. It's gonna be something like, there it is.
Alright, now, if you have a stricture that's longer than 25 millimeters, which more than likely it will be, all you're gonna do is you're gonna adjust the placement of this to the next area, and just because that alarm went off, I can just still do another 90 seconds. It's not like it keeps you from being able to use this anymore, it just beeps at you at 90 seconds, and then you start over again and keep going.
So even if you take your foot off the pedal.
If you take your foot off, the timer starts over.
Oh,
So,
so you don't have to go for 90 seconds.
no, you can go for less, but at 90 seconds, I don't know what that sheet is. At 90 seconds is when you're gonna see both of these probes, all the ablation areas connected between the two, and you've gone as deep as you needed to. Less than 90 seconds, it's really not gonna do a ton.
Okay.
But it's hard to go the full 90. And honestly, I really want to be here for the first cases. Like, I really, really want to be here for this. And you can utilize, most people are utilizing spyglass with this to go in. They find the top of their tumor, they find the bottom, and then they ablate between.